for me, probably the thing that's helped me most, more as I've moved through management and through leadership, rather than as a technical engineer as I was originally. I think the thing that helped me most and that's helped me develop most is some feedback I got from a manager once. And the manager, I'd been working as a team lead in his team as a secondment.
Mm.
And the manager basically said, I've watched you, I've observed you in meetings, I've observed you working with your team, and you know what you're doing. You've got the knowledge, but the tone and the way in which you phrase it sometimes means it never lands. So um rather than telling people no, won't work like that, this is how you've got to do it. Think about phrasing things in a way that's more an add-on, an augmentation of what they're saying. That's a really good idea. I like that. Could we consider an alternative option as well? Would it be possible to consider an alternative view? And then you've got an open room to sell your ideas to. And I think when you're young, you're quite stroppy and you think you know everything. And I think we all go through that period where you're quite stroppy and
Absolutely.
you think you know everything. And it's really difficult to understand that if you just come in all guns blazing, you immediately disengage an entire room. And that piece of advice has helped me as a leader, both talking to peers, talking to seniors, talking to stakeholders, and talking to my teams and to the people that I manage as well. Just just being calmer and more open about the way you present information has made a massive difference to my ability to manage and to be able to run teams. I think the real challenge here is in getting your business sponsors or your customer to recognize that this will save them money long term, but it may be a case of speculate to accumulate. Everybody wants to see a piece of work for the money that they've put into something, or everybody wants to see a piece of work for a project that's happened that's tangible that they can get their hands around. Accessibility doesn't necessarily give you that. So for me, get people in a room and show them how it works. Ideally, if you can, find people within your business sponsorship or within the company that you're working with who would benefit from the accessibility changes and have them in the room when you do the demonstration. And for me, that's been a really powerful tool for showing the benefit of accessibility and of what it brings to your organization. And then off the back of that, you can start to monetize that by showing everybody in that person's position is potentially going to leave your business or leave your website if you're not considering these factors, because the world out there is changing. Customers that are getting this really right are becoming the most popular websites to visit. And that's the simple fact. It's not about making money from adding something new. It's about continuing to keep customers, to retain customers. That's where the value is in accessibility. That's how you have to, for me, how I've had to sell it. It's not about what you'll gain, it's about what you'll lose if you don't do it. This is a massive bugbear, man. When are we going to have a qualification for QA and quality engineering? That's not just a single module in a computer science degree. Um, I think there's a lot happening right now around this, but it doesn't feel like it's happening fast enough. Like a lot of things in our industry, it can take 20 years to make the smallest of impacts, but that has the biggest benefit. Um, the problem's always been that testing was always seen as a part of development, but not respected as a part of development. So they add a module into a computer science degree for it because they recognize it kind of has to happen now because we develop so fast, things go out broken. We can't have that. The reality of it is, testing's not QA, and QA is not about testing. You can't test quality into a product. You've got to build quality into a product. So the education for me, we have got enough variations of testing to write an entire degree on test solutions, test approach. You've got accessibility testing, you've got security testing, you've got load performance testing, all the operational testing, manual functional automation. You've got this expansive set of tools that we use now as quality engineers. But the reality of it is, all we're actually trying to do is get the people designing the product in the first place, the architects, the developers that build the product to build the quality in.
Yeah.
So I think the education needs to become part of those other degrees in a lot more holistic way. But also, I think we go further back and we start introducing it as part of the STEM learning that we're doing in schools now. introduce the fact that quality is actually cool. It's not. It makes your product better. It makes whatever you're doing better if you build quality in. So for me, start young. We've got to get into schools and start explaining what this role is. I didn't even know testing existed as a job when I was a teenager in my 20s. I didn't even know this was a job until I actually started doing the job. And that's wrong. That's an industry that's never going to improve if you can't sell it better. For me, if we can start getting it into the STEM learning side of things, into the young learning side of things, then the degree is going to come naturally off the back of that. All kids do computer science in schools now. None of them do quality engineering as part of that. They all do the basics, but none of them look at quality engineering and understand that as a concept. And I think that's the problem. It's just not widely appreciated that it is actually just part of the engineering process. The biggest piece of advice I would give to someone in my position or moving into my position, I think, is um, let let things go. Let a number of levels. So let the things that you like doing go because you're going to need people to do that stuff for you to allow you to focus at a strategic level. If you want to keep hands on, then you can't really jump it into a strategy level. But also learn to let things go when things haven't gone your way. This is a changeable industry, and if you hold on to things, you do start getting bitter, and it jades the way that you approach your work, and I think the way that you work with your teams and the people around you.